You're wondering if you should go to art school. Let me tell you a few little tricks and tips of what to do in art school to make it a success for you and your career. Generally, an art school education is a BFA program from a university or an art institute, but it can also include taking classes at a junior college or many other places to pick up advanced education. But a BFA program is a very rigorous study of fine arts. Most BFA programs are four-year college programs that require taking art history, taking a lot of specific art classes, and generally taking a number of other academic classes. A generalized BFA program in fine arts is a very good education. You'll learn a great deal about what you want to do as well as what they're trying to force into your head. Let's talk about what the process is like over the 4 years. Generally, the first year is you take a lot of art history, you take some 2D and 3D design classes, and you'll take a few academics like English or various other Western Civ studies, liberal arts studies. But the main focus is going to be to initiate you or sort of get you up to speed with what the college effort is like. It's rigorous, but it can be very enjoyable and fun. One of the first classes you'll have to take that will absolutely amaze you is art history. It will amaze you in terms of how hard it is to take the first test. You have to memorize dates and artist names and all kinds of details about art. And when you take the first test and score about 20%, you'll realize you're in way over your head and it requires a lot of study. But I encourage you to keep going. It does get easier, and the amount of education you get in art school about art history will stay with you the rest of your life, and you'll build on it and build on it and build on it. And it's invaluable education, especially at the beginning, because that's where you'll base it all on. So no matter how hard you think it is, munch through it, because you will definitely gain a lot from it. Into your second year, you're going to begin to specialize, be able to take classes that you're a lot more interested in, whether they're drawing or painting or printmaking or sculpture or any of the other fine arts that are offered there. You begin to get to know some of the faculty and some of the other students that seem to be excelling and producing some interesting work. Don't give up. Just keep going. You'll figure it out. It does take a period of time before you really find your own way. One thing I discovered was there's a variety of faculty. And even though you might find one or two that you really bond with, you feel like you can communicate with, I encourage you to take classes from as many different faculty as possible. You're at a stage of your life where you're looking for mentors, and sometimes what you first perceive in a professor may not be what you really get out of it. So bear with it and take as many different faculty members as you can. 3 or 4 semesters, focus on picking up as much art information, visual information as you can. Go to the library, look at pictures, run Google searches on every artist you're interested in. Run searches on galleries and museums, and begin the process of visiting many galleries and many museums. Later on, I'm going to talk about how to deal with some galleries. Stay tuned for that. But more importantly, another important resource to keep maintaining always are your student friends. Get to know them. Be generous to them. Trade work, whatever it takes, but don't feel competitive. Try to give and give and give, and you'll have a lifelong relationship with a lot of these people. Find out where their parents are from so that you know after you graduate and everybody disperses, you can begin to track them down. Then you get toward the end, your last semester. You've made a lot of friends. You've enjoyed getting to know a lot of the faculty. Maintain those faculty relationships. Go visit their studios. Go visit their offices. Befriend them, because years and years later, you're still going to have a relationship with a lot of those people. And it's always very interesting to see how their careers changed and how your ambitions and your artwork interacts with theirs. It's always very good to stay in touch with your faculty. You're going to get out of art school, and one thing to keep back is take about 10 or 20 of your best drawings, not necessarily the most realistic, but the drawings that gave you a feeling of moving forward. Stick all of those into a secure portfolio and put it away. Put it in your parents' attic or wherever you know it's going to be there 10, 20, 30 years down the road. But you'll refer back to those many, many times and look at the images that you were first bewildered with. Those are very important to keep around and to always have available. Okay, you finished art school, you got your BFA. You don't know if you want to go on to get an MFA or go out there and try to work a while and paint or make creative art and have some part-time job or full-time job to support yourself. Whatever you decide to do, the thing to remember is you got to keep working, you got to keep going. If you put it aside and think, well, I'll get back to it later on, don't do that. Don't do that. Always stay thinking and working. Drawing, sketching, whatever you're doing, stay with it. You get out of art school and you need to have several things. Number one, you need to get some business cards that have your email address, your phone number, and your website. You need to develop your own website with your own images. You need to work on that and be constantly learning how to develop it further. Then you got to ask yourself, do I want to stay here? Do I want to relocate to a better market, a market where there's more artists and more galleries? Well, my experience has been New York City is fabulous. There's a ton of galleries, and it's a very, very hustle-bustle place. Another place that I really find is a much more open gallery scene is Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's a wonderful place way up in the mountains. There's a lot of artists there. There's a lot of Native American artists. It's really a wonderful environment. It's expensive to live there, but there's ways around that. So Whatever you do, locate in a place where you can possibly make it work. I'll say it again, it's very important to stay in touch with your fellow art students. Today there's Facebook and social media, and it's much easier today to track somebody down or stay in touch with somebody you went to art school with and maintain a creative dialogue back and forth of what you're doing and what they're doing, and you'll meet more people as a result of it, and more opportunities will come your way. Focus on staying in touch with your art student friends and your faculty. So don't give up and stay working. Another incredible resource is to simply go to as many museums as possible and look and ask yourself, do I like this work? What is it about this work that makes me excited or makes me feel more creative? Also go to galleries. Galleries can be very intimidating at times, especially if you walk in and you are an artist and they're looking for somebody to buy a particular piece of art. It's always very, very helpful to make sure they understand as you meet them that you're an artist and you came in to see the work, that you're not a buyer. If you do that and act a little more straightforward, you'll find much better relationships with gallery people, directors, and gallery owners. There's galleries everywhere. You'll find in New York and in Santa Fe and many other cities. There's generally a lot of openings and Friday night gala events. Participate in them. Get to know people. Take business cards. Pass out your website. Make sure that you make as many connections as possible. And you meet somebody and you get their business card, send them a thank you note or send them an email saying, I enjoyed meeting you and thank you so much for your time. You have to develop many, many, many relationships in order to make your career a success. And lastly, go to our website. All of the links to the various other YouTube naked artist exposure videos are on there. I'm going to do one next about how to get into a gallery and how to approach a gallery and how to interact with a gallery and how to avoid pitfalls with a gallery. So look for that. And get a hold of me if you have any additional questions. I'm glad to help. Thank you so much for watching this.